Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, what I want to do today is, now that I've torn that tree out and gotten a nice little stump on the ground, I've decided I'm going to put a potted plant on top of it. So I want to go out and get a pot, get some soil, get some plants and put it in there. And I think that'll kind of look nice. I've actually cut the stump off to about 12 or 14 inches off the ground. So it'll just be a pedestal that I'll have a potted plant on. And I want to get that done today. But before we do that, today is November 2nd. It is my father's birthday today, and so happy birthday, Dad. But also it is the first Tuesday in November, and that is generally election day. And that is the case today. It is election day here in Texas, and honestly, I knew that the first Tuesday in November is usually election day, but this one kind of crept up on me, and I really didn't hear anything to let me know that there was anything going on today until I got up this morning and I found out there's a few ballot propositions that I want to vote for. And so I've spent a little bit of time familiarizing myself with the initiatives, and I'm going to go and vote, and then we're going to come back and we're going to set up that pot. So let's go. All right, I have voted. Pretty simple process, not a whole lot of people there today, and so got that done, and let's go off to the nursery now and find some plants. All right, so we're over at the nursery, and I think the first thing I gotta do is figure out what kind of a pot I want to put this thing in. I'm kind of looking for something decent size, but not really high, kind of a low profile kind of thing, and I'm really kind of looking at this one here. I kind of like these. These are, I think they're a decent sized pot. It'll hold a few colorful plants, and it won't be really, a high profile kind of thing. So I think I'm going to probably go with that. Now I just got to figure out what I'm going to put in it. So I'm kind of looking for things with a little bit of color, and I'm kind of settling on these, get a few of them, put them in there. They got different varieties. They got these red ones, they got the pink ones, they got a white one over here. Or I might just kind of do a combination of things. And, like I said, it's always a matter of seeing what works and what's going to look good. Because oftentimes it's a matter of, is the plant going to do well in the area I'm going to put it? Where I'm looking at, it's probably going to get a little bit of sun in the afternoon, but it'll be in the shade in the morning. And like I said, I want something with a little color. I always like to have a little variety in the yard so that something's always happening. Asian jasmine, that's the stuff I put in the front yard, in the planter by the door there. They seem to always have a lot of that. This is kind of interesting. Looks like that has some flowers on it, and that's kind of cool. That looks like more like a ground cover kind of thing. I don't think I'm going to go cactus. That's not exactly what I'm going for at this point. And they got all sorts of little flowering things out here. See, this is probably going to be the better place for me to look, because this stuff is all outside, and I'm guessing this is the stuff that's going to probably do well in the sun. Also going to have some nice color to it. Got palm trees over here, but I think I'm done with palm trees. Actually, I think that's the species of palm tree I had right there. Definitely looks like it. If it isn't, it's very close. But like I said, I'm done with palms. We tried that and it didn't work very well. I always love this Lantana. It's really bright, really colorful. Just trying to find something that kind of catches my attention. Ornamental cabbage. I bet you Flash would love that. I know that was, my mom used to have that growing in her backyard when Flash lived there, and she always hated it because Flash would always eat it. See, now that's pretty too. That'd be a nice burst of color out in the middle of the yard, right? Actually really leaning towards that. Let's see if anything else catches my attention, but that would be perfect, I think. Here we're kind of getting more into the roses. And I don't know if the roses would do, if a rose would do really well in this part of the yard, because I don't think there's going to be enough sunlight. I thought those were crepe myrtles. That seems to be a very popular plant here in Texas. You see those all over the place. Everybody has crepe myrtles in their yard. Must be one of those plants that does really well in this part of Texas. Loves the heat. Here we're getting more into the bigger things, and I'm not looking to replace a tree with another tree. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with those red things, whatever they were. Let's go see if we can figure out what they are and get ourselves hooked up with that, because I think that's kind of what I'm looking for color-wise. That just pops, doesn't it? It's just an explosion of color. Oh, it's just thick with flowers. Let's see if we can figure out what this is called here. A red rider. I guess that's probably a good name for it. Does it say how much they cost? No, but I'm sure they'll be able to tell me. I think I'm going to go with that. What do you think? So I was talking to the gardener here, and he thought that red rider thing would probably do well in the pot, but next year when it comes back, he'd recommend putting it in the ground, just because he said it would grow bigger. So we were talking about this, and then some of these little flowers around the side. These are annuals, so they'll fade after this year, but this thing will grow into that pot and probably do well in that. So that's what we're going to go with, and we'll go from there. All right, so I got the pot home. It's fitting on the stump pretty well, and it's actually pretty level and pretty flat, so I did a pretty good job cutting off the top. And I think that's where this thing's new home is going to be. And I've intentionally, there's like a little drain hole in the back of it, and I've intentionally left the drain hole in the back of the pot so it'll drain out the back, and that'll be good. So I've got myself a bag of potting soil and my plants, and I think we're just going to put this all in here and throw it together and see how it comes out. Alright, so there's sort of the finished product. I'm going to give it a good drink right now, and that should help it get established. And we're supposed to get some pretty serious rain over the next 24 to 36 hours, so that should help a little bit too. This thing's obviously been sitting in their greenhouse for a while because it's got bird poop all over it, so I want to clean the outside of the pot too and make it look nice. But these, like I said, these things here on the edge, they're annuals, and so they'll do well this year, and then they'll kind of fade next year and we'll pull them out. But by that time, this thing in the middle should get bigger, and this thing is supposed to get 3 or 4 feet tall and 3 or 4 feet wide, so it should fill in this area really nicely. It's supposed to bloom in the summer and autumn, so see, that's also something I'm looking for. I like to have different things doing different, have different growing seasons, so that there's always a little something interesting to look at in the yard. And this should have a whole bunch of these little red flowers on it. I think I've had these I had one of these in my house in California, and it did really well. It got a decent size, and one of the things I like about it is it was very attractive to the bees, and so I like to do things to, like, that attract bees, because bees are good for the environment and all that. And so I think this thing is going to do well, and I don't entirely think the stump is completely dead, so I may end up having a little bit of growth coming out off of the stump too, and that won't hurt at all either. You can actually see there's still a little bit of life on the stump. The problem was the top of the tree was dead, but you can see, there's all sorts of stuff going down here along the bottom here. So like I said, who knows, we'll see what happens. Maybe the stump will come back on some level of its own here, and we'll get a little life coming out of that too. So who's to say there's something wrong with a platform for a plant that's a plant itself and still growing and still alive. So anyway, I think that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.